What's up, people? It's March 3rd, 2023, and this is Cracking Snap with Dennis and Chi. There he goes. He's snapping. It's not very loud. I'm Dennis, and that right there next to me is Chi. Welcome. And that toilet in the background is somebody in Chi's household. Just so you know.
It's just with a sound effect to go with the cracking snap.
Gotcha. Yeah. We're currently in towards the tail end of Chapter 4 of Into the Quantum Realm for the season. I believe the season ends Monday around 7 p.m. Pacific. My current updates, just for anybody tuning in for the first time, Chi and I, we are some old guys that have been playing a lot of card games for many years.
Experienced.
Experience. That's what we meant to say. I've got experience with Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Hearthstone, Gwent, and obviously Pro Circuit in the Versus system. And then I also did some monetization stuff with PlayStation, so I'm very well experienced in free-to-play games and how to get your most value out of those as you possibly can. Chi has also just notoriously cheap in general. So what it means is, we try to play this game on a budget and still get the most that we can out of it. I currently, to date, I've been playing this game since it officially launched back, I think, in October, or was it October or September? I've spent $53 on this game. Chi, I think, what are you at? You're at like $13.
Yep.
All right, cool. And then my current,
I am notoriously bad at not spending money on the good cards. I missed out on Silver Surfer and M.O.D.O.K, and I happened to pick the one in between that. He was good, but
I don't know that you completely missed out on M.O.D.O.K. Like, I think M.O.D.O.K is a cool card.
Yeah,
I don't think he breaks the game the way the Silver Surfer did.
He doesn't, but he brought discard deck back in a big way.
For sure.
I was playing a lot of discard decks.
For sure. And then as far as collector level and MMR to date, currently I am at 3,740 collector level. That's up 180 from last week. But my MMR, I'm at 80. I'm at 80 right now. I'm up 29 levels from the last time you and I talked. Honestly, I attribute that all to that Shuri that I pulled the trigger on.
Yeah.
I bought Shuri, and after the show, we made the fun little Shuri control deck. It just wasn't worth doing that deck. The real money was all in the Shuri Zero deck.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of wanted to go over some stuff, but really quick, what's your collector level and MMR right now?
3166, and I'm up to 54, which is 54, and which is actually 4 levels higher than last time. So it's progress. I have been fighting a bit of a cold, so I haven't had much time.
That means you should have more time. I just want to clarify, like 29 levels. I didn't do that over the course of the week. I did that over the course of 2 days.
Wow.
I did it. I hit 82 or 83 by Sunday of last week. And I have been stuck since then. Just never. I can't go up. I just keep going down and then up and then down and then up. But I can never pass. I think 83 was the highest I ever got. But let's just recap the week really quick because we got a lot to talk about. And if anybody's in the comments and you got questions for us, feel free to chime in. This is just, our time to just share our snap moments with you guys, share our wisdom, share our experiences. And then, at the end of the game, at the end of the show, if you're down, if people are watching and they're down, we'll do some friend battles for fun, But yeah, so the week, so when I say I was using Shuri Zero the whole weekend, it's kind of a lie. I actually was switching back and forth between the Shuri Zero deck that I will show in a little bit, and a deck that my cousin Ricky showed me. And that deck I specifically used when the hot location over the weekend was Sokovia, which is forces everybody to discard a card. I finally found a MODOK deck that I like, and it's a sweet deck. This is a slight change from what I was using over the weekend. The original deck that Ricky gave me actually includes Rogue in the deck instead of Black Cat.
I
And
remember.
I actually really liked the Rogue over the weekend because so many people were running discard decks with Morbius that I was stealing their Morbiuses left and right. But I will say this: so the trick with this deck is patience. It's a lot of patience, right? Uh, you run a lot of twos, but you actually only are allowed to recruit a few of them in certain conditions, right? Like you run Morbius, Collector, Wolverine, Swarm, Colleen Wing. The rule is you never ever recruit Wolverine and you never ever recruit
Swarm. Right.
Yeah, you just never do it. So you put out uh, Morbius and Collector as soon as you can. Obviously, you only play Colleen Wing if Morbius and Collector are not in your hand, and Wolverine or Swarm are. And then there's Lady Sif that's only meant to be played if Apocalypse is in your hand, pretty much. And then Dracula is there if you get the chance to play him. Moon Girl is there to copy the crap out of Wolverines and Swarms and Apocalypses. And then on 5, it's just nuts. It's just nuts if you play MODOK at that point because it's so many cards.
Yeah.
It has to do the fast forward animation and everything like that. But what I noticed when Rogue was in the deck, because of the weird conditions of recruiting in this deck, sometimes you're not recruiting on turn 1. You're never recruiting on 1. Sometimes you're not recruiting on 2. And so what ends up happening is by the time you get a Moon Girl, you can't even draw on turn 5 because if you play Moon Girl to copy everything, your hand's too full. So what I thought, like the worst things I've ever had in this deck are a hand of 2 rogues. Like I can't handle having 2 rogues that are useless,
Yeah.
So I put Black Cats in there, and what's really cool about Black Cat is she's now a 3 that if you get her on 3 or on whatever turn you can play her, she's really beefy.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to play her, it's totally fine. She's actually going to free up room in your hand.
Right.
So you can Moon Girl. If you Moon Girl 2 Black Cats, even cooler. You know what I mean?
Never thought about that. Yeah.
Because you're never exceeding your hand size.
Right.
To cap yourself from getting that MODOK that you need on 5.
That's an interesting synergy that I never thought of.
Yeah, Black Cat is really cool. I've been using her off and on whenever I get tired of people trying to outmaneuver my Shuri deck. This deck is doing really well for me. It's really fun. The only problem is because I took out the Rogue, this deck does not interact with opponents at all, basically.
Yeah.
Like in no way. It just does its thing and it hopes for the best. Right. The only thing that it has going for it is if I can tell that a Galactus deck is coming into play, I will recruit that Wolverine as fast as possible. It is a deterrent. When they see it, sometimes they quit because they just don't want to deal with my Wolverine, especially if they don't have theirs out,
Right.
It's really funny that he's just a 2-drop that does that. It's so weird. And then here's my favorite moment that I got with this deck. Really awkward for them. This is obviously a retreat on turn 6 before my Dracula could discard a 20 powered Apocalypse. But yeah, I played a Morbius on turn 2 all the way on the right without knowing what it was. It turned out to be Bar Sinister. They thought I screwed myself because I limited my potential, So on turn 3, they went crazy and put a Hulkbuster down there just to get huge numbers on there. And then as the game progressed, when it got down to turn 6, I decided by 5 I had the MODOK, but I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna play him. Like I don't think I'm gonna play MODOK right now. Or actually, no, you know what? I did play him because that's the only way I could have gotten those swarms. I did play him on 6, or on 5.
On 5,
but
yeah,
on 5, I played MODOK on Bar Sinister. They played Arrow on Bar Sinister, thinking they were clever. Because I guess they thought maybe I was going to save Bar Sinister for my 6.
For last, yeah.
Yeah. And so Morbius got out of control, and then I put out a bazillion swarms, and this game was just done. It was so amazing. But yeah, I love this deck. It's really fun. Thanks to Ricky for sharing it with me. It's finally a MODOK deck that I feel I have very good control over. Like I'm never accidentally discarding crap that I don't want. But in the case of like Sokovia, if both of us got to accidentally discard crap, at least my Morbius is going to benefit from it. So
Right.
yeah, it's really cool. And then I guess this week, it just ended yesterday. The featured location was the last one for the season, the Quantum Realm. What'd you think of this one, Chi? It's after you play a card here, set its base power to 2.
I thought about using a Cerebro deck, but again, the chance of it popping and then just running a Cerebro deck solely for that didn't seem to be worth the time. So I went back to the deck that I was running this whole last week,
Yeah.
and I found a nice little bypass to people that were running Cerebro, which was Titania.
Oh my God, I was gonna say the same thing. That's so funny. That's so funny. Titania is such a troll for a Cerebro deck.
Yep.
You basically just give up one lane, and that's
Yep.
fine. But when you put that Titania down in their lane, it's too funny.
Yep.
That's great minds think alike. That's exactly what I was doing. Yeah, I felt bad for Cerebro decks during this time because I just think this was meant for them to shine, but the current meta just wasn't working for him. Honestly, like Morbius thrived on this location
Yeah,
because he
because
just
you got an
got to be
extra
a little
two.
bigger,
Yeah.
like yeah, there wasn't a lot of cards that I was actively playing. When I was doing the Shuri deck, I was basically just playing cards that are no more than 3 on there. And definitely not playing Red Skull and Taskmaster there, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because like screw that. But yeah, speaking of, this is the deck I actually ended up playing a lot of this week. There was a change midway through the week. I was rocking Captain Marvel instead of Polaris,
Mhm.
and it was really great. It's just the deck was a little too heavy on the end. There was a lot of cards that I couldn't use everything. And so when I learned that the Polaris is like the current new meta, I swapped that in, and it's pretty great because like I don't think you've ever seen a cooler way to steal Titania than to pull her to another location that's empty and then get her back. It's pretty slick.
It's pretty
Uh,
smart.
yeah, it's pretty enjoyable. But yeah, the whole deck is basically pretty clear cut. You just overpower the first few rounds with like huge cards like Zero, Titania, Lizard. Um, but alternatively, you also set up your end game. Ideally, you're getting Armor and Cosmo. You're putting them on 2 different places, and then Shuri on 4, Red Skull on 5, and in one of the protected places, preferably with the Cosmo. And then on 6, you drop Taskmaster with the armor, and that's it. That's game. And like, if you can manage to get Red Skull to be even bigger than what he normally would be, bravo, because like that's what I did on a few games, and it's hilarious. Like,
Yep.
if you put Red Skull down on a Shuri's lab,
Yep.
like it's nuts, dude. It's super nuts. So yeah, that was the game. It got weird sometimes, like if you didn't hit the armor or you didn't hit the Cosmo, because then as the game kept going throughout the week, more and more people were running Shang-Chi and Arrow. Like that's just the entire meta now is if you don't have this deck, you run Shang-Chi and Arrow. Am I
Yeah.
wrong?
No, you're absolutely correct. That's the only thing that I ever worry about
Yeah.
is getting Shang-Chi'd. And that's really the
So
biggest concern for this deck.
are you running a Shuri zero deck also?
I'm running a very similar version. Yes, I believe I have it loaded up on the slides as well.
Oh, okay. I'll have to find it.
It's after my cards. It's the
Okay.
next one. is the next one.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
there you go. Is that max power?
Yeah, a
There
little
you go.
homage to
Yep.
The Simpsons. Instead
Oh,
of I had
it looks very familiar. Yeah.
I had a Cosmo in there, but I just realized that Cosmo wasn't, because the whole thing was really just to get Resco. And when Resco's even just 30, it's just really hard to compete with him. The issue was sometimes having Cosmo out meant that I can't put Taskmaster where I might want him.
Yeah. I mean, you have to plan ahead. And so
Yeah,
Red Skull always needs to go where Cosmo is. Like,
right.
unless, like, by the way, pro tip, if you ever see somebody put a Red Skull on the location that's not with Cosmo or armor, they go Arnim Zola him on the next turn.
They're going to Armazilla, and so I'll either armor that, or if I have initiative, I'll just arrow.
Yeah, Arrow's the way to go for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have
I
a highlight?
still I
Do you have a
still like
highlight for
Captain
this one?
Marvel at 5, just because it allows me some flexibility in.
Yeah, sure. If you Shuri her, she's a 12 that can go
Right.
anywhere.
That's going to go
Yeah,
anywhere, and I don't have to worry about, most of the time. I don't have to worry about what they play. I can still sort of,
but
because there's so little interaction with the opponent. Captain Marvel for me is a little bit. Um, I like her.
then I would consider swapping out that Maximus for Polaris.
Yeah, that is definitely something. I
You want
just got Polaris, as you saw from
you
my slide
you,
right before. I
you want
just
to
got
st-
Polaris.
Oh, I wasn't looking at those. I was trying to get ahead. Do you have
Yeah.
a best moment from this deck?
Not from this deck. Ironically, not from this deck. I get so excited sometimes, and after a while, it was just kind of like, okay, I win, and then I forget to take a picture. There was one where, same thing. I played Red Skull on Shuri's Lab, and it was 60, and they played Gambit, and I did not have armor in my
Uh-oh.
hand or anything like that.
Oh,
But I didn't have the cards. So at the end of the game, I lost everybody except for Red Skull and Taskmaster. Oh, and of course on turn 6 he played Odin, and pure luck they hit everything except for the two main cards, which was Red Skull and Taskmaster, and I still won.
that's
So
funny.
yeah,
That's funny. But so going back to the current meta, just so that we can see, it's no surprise here. Shuri Zero is a tier 1 currently, tier 1 deck. Whether or not you're running Captain Marvel or Polaris or whatever, the fact is, like, that is one of the two top decks to beat. The only one being supposedly better is Lockjaw Thanos. And I gotta say that Thanos buff is so annoying. Like, he did not need to go from a 6'8" to a 6'11", but he's really a bitch. He's a bitch now. Like, and it's I love watching Infinity Stone decks at play. I love watching the tactical nature of them.
yeah,
Uh, that said, I also love just destroying those decks. It's really hilarious because a Titania by herself can really screw things up. But I found that, like, if you ever get tired of running the top tier decks, I think this deck that I found recently is so fun. It's a Magic Disrupt deck, and it's just meant to really, uh, it's really meant to annoy um, the top decks in the meta right now, which are Shuri Zero and Lockjaw Thanos. This especially wrecks Lockjaw Thanos, but it has the ability to really be annoying to the Shuri Zero as well. Mostly because you got a Moon Girl and a Quinjet, and you can end up playing two Shang-Chis on turn 6,
right.
which is pretty ruthless.
Well, no, you would play it over 6 and 7, because one of them is still a 4. The second one is.
Sorry, I'm in turn 7 because you have Magic to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have Magic to play. But yeah, this deck's running the Hood. It's running Green Goblin. It's running Titania. It's running Viper. Super funny Viper thing. Viper maneuver is, if you ever want to keep Titania, you play Viper on Titania. She gives it to them, and then she comes back to you
She
right
comes
away.
back. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's also really fun when you're playing Galactus decks and they try to Green Goblin you or Hobgoblin you, and then you're like, "Hey, would you like this back?" And you so just so pro tip: if you decide to try this deck out, do not use Viper until you have something really trashy to give your
To
opponent.
give them. Yeah, yeah.
But when you do, it's so funny. Also, actually, I should correct that. There is one exception to the rule. I love vipering armor
Yeah,
because I still benefit from my
right.
armor being on the
You're
table.
just filling, and it. If they don't have any cards there, it's still a tie because it's 3-3.
Yeah, it's still a 3-3
Yeah,
tie, but also now you get to play whatever else you want there freely, and they have lost one
a
space
space.
on
Yeah,
their thing. So, uh, highly recommend checking this deck out if you like to feed your inner troll. Really good. Um, it's I don't have any highlights to show you from this one just because it's mostly a lot of retreats. It's a lot of retreats. It's just people who just get over it. And I honestly, I don't know about you, but I found my most successful way of gaining ranks this week has been to not snap. Because if I snap, I only get one cube.
hmm.
Um, if they snap, I play it out. I potentially get 4 cubes. If no one snaps, at least I get 2 cubes.
Yeah,
But I have had so much trouble with my decks lately where the second I snap, they're just out the door. And I guess that's a cool way to go fast through games, but like it's not efficient for if you want to actually be playing the game for fun and stuff. So yeah, I mostly just sit around and then wait to bait them. So there you go. All right. With that said, I know you showed off your new cards. I got one. That's it.
it's a
That's
good one
this
though.
is this is just the life that I have now. I bought him though. I didn't earn him.
Oh,
I just bought him with tokens. I took advantage of the first Token Tuesday bundle that was offered this week, and I had this guy saved in my store because I'm just trying to like knock out the best cards I can uh, because I'm tired of getting crap. I'm tired of getting crap when I need these cards
yeah,
to do well. And I don't really have anything else to do with my tokens other than buy
yeah.
the best things. So, needless to say, I currently have Thanos pinned in my store. I
Nice.
never thought I would want to spend 6,000 on a card, but
Oof.
I honestly, now that I have Darkhawk, is there any other card I need?
What are you missing other
I
than
mean,
Thanos?
I'm missing like some Series 5 cards and
What
some
about
Series 4
Bast?
cards. I'm missing Boss, but I just don't think in the meta right now he's
Yeah,
worth
it's
it.
true.
Like, you know what I mean? He's a one drop. So like if you miss your chance to drop him early, like what's he gonna do for you later, you know?
Yeah. What
So
about
I have
Valkyrie?
Dark Valkyrie is cool. She is very cool. I lose to her every time I ever see her,
Yeah,
but she is tricky. She is tricky to set up. Like Valkyrie and Shadow King are both really cool cards, but I would rather just get them naturally. I think the Thanos and the Darkhawk, I just needed those under my belt so that I have options going forward because those are two cards that are obviously top tier cards.
yeah,
I honestly was sad because I ended up making two of the top Darkhawk decks and running them, and this is not a good week to run Darkhawk decks, dude. It's just not. Like I tried, and I saw the potential for fun there, but there's too much trolling going on right now to allow for Darkhawk.
yeah,
Um, oh well, I still got him now.
yeah.
Chi, you got a bunch of cards.
Well, Polaris, Ghost Rider, and Polaris and Ghost Rider were was purchased with the tokens. So I just got those three. But yeah, I've been
There's so
missing
many
Ghost Rider
cards.
from my discard deck for a long time. So that was my first purchase.
It's really weird that you didn't have Ghost Rider until just now. Like that breaks my heart. Like he's so clutch. That said, I don't see him run a lot lately
Yeah,
anymore. So
yeah,
he's great in a Hella discard deck, but I
yeah,
just don't think that's not the meta right now.
yeah.
Hella Hella pops up every now and then, but yeah, everybody's
What,
just
what,
trying to put massive points on the board fast.
it's too hard to run both MODOK and Hela. It's just too
Yeah,
unless you just want to,
unless you're
harden the
running
draw.
unless you're running Invisible Woman, and in that
Oh yeah,
case, somebody's
yeah,
going to screw you with a Polaris or an Arrow or a Cosmo or anything that the Invisible Woman she just begs to be trolled,
yeah.
or a Juggernaut, right? Like,
Right.
but good on you to get that Juggernaut. Like Juggernaut and Polaris are really good gets
Yeah.
for this week. Also, that Jane Foster is nothing to look away from. Um,
No.
you know the sweet trick for Jane, right? Like with the Lockjaw deck is on turn 5 you play Wasp on Lockjaw, and then you play Jane
Jane
Foster
to bring. Yeah. Yeah.
to clear out your deck. Yeah, to
Yep.
just siphon it out.
Yep.
It's really great. Coulson, I want to say he's good, but he's really situationally good. He have to build the deck around Coulson.
At this point, I'm just trying to get as much of the tier threes so that I can finally be done with that. And I believe my last count is I'm down to 6 cards left.
Nice. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
So, but with Polaris, my token count back to or I think I just recently got to 100. So now I'm down to 200 tokens.
Man, I have so many tokens.
This was last.
I currently, what do I have? I'm not even sure how many I have right now. By the way, are these new variants for you? Are these
On the bottom, the Strong Guy, Iron Fist, Maximus, Sunspot were variants from last week.
Oh, okay. You just kept this one in here.
Yeah.
I have 800 already. I have 800 tokens already, and I just bought Darkhawk the other day.
Wow.
That's how fast it goes, man. It just gets nuts. All right. With that all said, I think we have some news to discuss before we actually get around to playing some cards or talking about strategy and stuff. We got a sneak peek at the brand new season, which starts on Monday at 7 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
Days of Future Past. I've known about this one for a while. I'm really excited about this one, specifically because the brand new card that's going to be part of the season pass is Nimrod. One, I think his character is just hilarious looking. I think the name is always amazing. And I think his power is going to change the freaking meta in a few days. I think destroy decks are back with this card.
Yeah, I
think destroy decks were already on the rise. Like they never went away.
Yeah.
But man, this card is nuts, dude. When he's destroyed, add a copy to each other location. He's a 5/5. So, I mean, he's basically
like a weird Dr. Doom.
He's a built-in Arnim Zola Doom.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You play Arnim Zola on this guy, and you're getting 2 of him at each other location.
Right. I get it. But you're also losing 2 spots.
No, you're not. You're losing 1 spot.
No, but No, I'm saying the places that get them you're losing two spaces, right? Because
you're gaining 10 on the board. Yes.
You're gaining 10 on the board. Right.
On each location. So you're putting 20 up on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool.
I think this is also going to help Galactus too.
Yeah, because
because you play him on somewhere else.
You're right, because you put him somewhere else, and then on 6 you play Galactus, and then you end up suddenly with a Nimrod.
Yeah,
for sure. If you're doing a ramp deck, you could. No, you couldn't do it that way. I was gonna say you could Arnim Zola him on 5, but then Arnim Zola would prevent you from playing a Galactus. In any case, I think this guy's really cool. If you're not excited about him, that's fine.
I'm not excited, but I'm not sure. I'd have to really see. I do think that it's going to give Destroy deck's a nice little boost.
Yeah. I think what's cool about him is like he and Wolverine have some cool synergies because like you want to kill both of them so badly. And I think that's really cool that it just so happens that the season pass variants are going to include a new Wolverine, which
So
I love.
so
I
with
love the brown
Nimrod,
costume.
however, one thing that I thought of is that I think Dazzler becomes possibly working her way into the meta, because if you are filling up the spaces more, Dazzler's power becomes.
Well, you have to fill up all three
You have to
locations.
fill up all three, but again, if you can do it, if
So
you can destroy him well,
yeah, but the problem is like if you destroy him, the only way to effectively destroy him like is to make sure that he's the only one on the board, or at the end of the turn it's like Venom or Carnage or Death or Deadlock.
right?
So if you do that when Nimrod dies, by the end of that turn there's nothing left on that location
Yeah,
except maybe one card.
yeah.
So that would mean on 6 you'd have to play Dazzler and 2 other cards in order to get her effect.
Again, if you're killing enough things, Death is a free card.
That's fair.
Dazzler would be 2.
Is Dazzler 2? I thought she's a 4.
No, I meant she's your second card.
Oh, your second card. Yeah.
Your second card.
And then a Deadpool or something like that, I guess. Yeah.
Deadpool.
Or a Sabretooth, yeah.
Or a
fair enough.
Nova or something like that, just to fill the.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess if you have Wolverine and Nimrod on the same location and there's no room for Wolverine to go to the other ones, then Wolverine will end up there again, right?
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah. I think Dazzler could be pretty cool. I actually have been wanting Dazzler just because I got that Shanna a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And every deck I've seen that has Shanna like runs Dazzler as well. Next up, we have also some new cards that will be introduced throughout the season. We have Kitty Pryde, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and Master Mold. Have you seen these yet, G?
I've seen Kitty Pryde.
You can return this to your hand to gain +2 power.
She's going to work real well with the Collector.
And Electro Ramps.
Sure.
She's better than Psylocke by a mile. Like, she's a lot better than Psylocke.
Yeah. And, I mean, Psylocke, for the most part, is a one-time use sort of thing.
Yeah.
Kitty Pryde is a continual, return.
Well, I guess if you're running Electro, no, not so much, but
yeah.
But in any case, yeah, she lets you get that Electro ramp started right away, just right away. Negasonic Teenage Warhead is kind of like a rickety bridge, right?
Yeah.
After any card is played here, destroy this card and that card. I guess if you play
26, right? Because
I guess if you play 2 cards on that location, she's only going to kill the first one. So she's a little different from Rickety Bridge.
True.
You can get around her, but yeah, you're right. She'd be a pretty good turn 6 play. It'd be pretty funny. She's kind of like an Arrow, but cheaper, and still allows you to put something else somewhere else, right? And then Master Mold is just a funny troll card.
Yeah.
Unless players are running Sentinels. On reveal, add 2 Sentinels to your opponent's hand. That's funny because, and that's actually really devastating on turn 2 because
if you don't hit one,
your hand's full now.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, like I don't know why you wouldn't just play a Sentinel on the next turn just to free it. Oh, actually, if you did, you would constantly be filling up your deck,
you're
right?
Constantly filling up your hand. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. You go, Master Mold. You just keep those Sentinels coming.
Oh man, think of a Master Mold with a Beast, and then do it again.
Yeah, and also Darkhawk.
And then follow up with your Darkhawk. There you go.
And Black Widow.
Oh, oof. That's
It's pretty mean. It's pretty mean.
That's a quit. That's
Yeah,
a retreat.
it's pretty mean. As always, new season means new locations. So I don't know if you've seen these. I don't. By the way, these are all subject to change. Like I got these from Marvel Snap Zone. Obviously, you can see the text in the card itself is sometimes different from the text below. But just going off what the card says, Orcus Forge, which is cool. That's a picture taken straight from the House of X storyline. After you play a card here, add a Sentinel to your hand. Well, that with Master Mold is just
Yeah.
super evil. Asteroid M, after you play a 3 or 4 cost card, move it here. I get that. It synergizes with Magneto.
It's Magneto, right?
Yeah,
It's a
it's
great
Magneto all
Magneto
over again.
location.
Yeah.
But it's also synergizes well with Storm. You storm a location, she moves over. And
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely use this to your advantage as
yeah,
opposed to. Well, I mean, if you know they're playing a Magneto, you can too as well.
yeah.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Honestly, you could play her and then move so she doesn't die.
No, it destroys the card. So I think it doesn't matter where she moves to. I think she's still
Oh,
because
fair
it's
enough.
destroyed this card and that card.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Krakoa on turn 6 takes over and plays both players' cards for them.
Ugh,
Now,
ego.
in fairness, down below the text says on turn 5. So I don't know which
Oh,
one is true. Either way, it's kind of like ego, but like you can plan ahead a little bit, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the problem with ego is like you sometimes you're down to trust ego if he didn't just screw you on that turn. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, but I think Krakoa is kind of cool because it lets you set everything up, right? It lets you play your Lady Sif so that all you have left in your hand is your Ghost Rider or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it lets you because that's all everybody wants to do with Agatha decks and ego and stuff is get that Sif Ghost Rider combo off so it's just nuts. Or something, something to that effect. So uh, yeah, I mean, which of these are you most excited for?
Astro M.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Sentinel thing is interesting. I think that when that comes out, the collector could be
Yeah.
you know
If you're not running a collector during the Orcus Forge one, you're crazy.
yeah.
Like,
But
because if you,
Astro M, I always like stuff. I've always loved my location decks, so this is a good way to make one more location kind of locked down, kind of thing.
yeah, 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 cool. And then there's a few other things to talk about for the new season. There's going to be apparently a variant event similar to the Winterfest that we did in December. So during the month of April, when you open collector's reserves, you'll have a higher chance of getting steampunk variants of these 5 cards. I mean, I like them because they're not winter themed. Like, um, whatever. You get a bishop, a cerebro, falcon, shocker, or yellow jacket. I just know that we're all going to get yellow jacket because he's a garbage card that nobody uses. So why would we get any of the other 4 very useful cards?
Yeah,
Which, by the way, the other 4 are pretty useful. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah. But it's pretty cool that like Cerebro's included in there because Cerebro is kind of like Cerebro's a very important card in the Cerebro deck. So like if you haven't had a chance to get Cerebro naturally, your chances are increased this month or this coming month. And then just so you can plan ahead, the developers were nice enough to, or maybe the data mine was nice enough to share what the upcoming 4 hot locations will be starting on Saturday, March 12th. So you're going to have this, and these are in order, by the way. So negative zone cards here have -3 power. It's going to be March 12th, and then the following week will be Project Pegasus. So we're just going to be straight up getting +5 energy all the time. Elysium cards cost 1 less. I dare you to run Sarah and Zabu
Sarah.
during that week. It's going to be nuts. And then the final week is Karmitage. Whew, that's nuts, dude. On reveal effects happen
These are
twice.
gonna be fun.
Knowing it's gonna happen, oof.
Yeah,
Man, you run a Shuri on that card, it's nuts.
yeah,
It's too much. So yeah, I mean, are you excited that you get to actually know the hot locations this time around beforehand?
yeah, yeah. And I'm pretty excited about most of these. The negative zone is all right, but the Project Pegasus and then followed by Elysium, that's going to be very interesting just because so much recruiting is going to happen. And so I
Yeah,
played a game where turn one, they play Project Pegasus and they put down a Zabu with a Sarah on turn one.
yeah,
And luckily, I still overpowered him with my max power deck, but it was pretty funny. It was pretty
yeah.
funny.
No, I've definitely had a Pegasus allow me to get a Sarah out on turn one, and it is crazy when you have
Yeah,
that freedom to just recruit like that. And then a Sarah with an Elysium as well is just out of control.
yeah.
It's just too much. So yeah, expect Sarah to be on the rise again, at least on the weekends.
Well,
In the coming
Sandman
month,
just got
weeks.
his uh, buff, so expect Sandman to be a counter.
You know, I dare him to be a counter because like I was super excited about him 2 weeks ago when he got the giant buff, and he is not the meta right now. Like I hardly ever see Sandman. I don't know about you. Like I was expecting to see Sandman all over the board.
Hmm.
And I find that whenever I do see him, they drop him one turn too late. They drop him right when I plop two or three cards on the board, and
Yeah.
then Sandman comes out, and I'm like, well, I was just gonna play one card next turn anyways, So I don't know. I feel like people,
Well, I think again, if Shuri Zero is tier one, when Sandman comes out, I'm like, I already put down my 30 power Red
Red
Skull,
Skull,
and
right? Yeah,
Taskmaster is about to copy it. So
yeah.
okay, good luck.
The only desperate, so the problem with Sandman against Shuri Zero is he can't come out till 5, right? So he comes out on 5, and all he's doing is hoping that you passed on turn 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you passed, that means She-Hulk
She
Taskmaster.
Hulk, right?
But like, I mean, who's passing? Like you're like passing is like the last, like the backup plan for that deck, right? Like it's that's only if nothing hit right. And so like for example, you're running Captain Marvel. You have no reason to pass on turn
Right,
5,
right.
because
That's
if
why
you
I
hit
like Marvel.
if you miss Red Skull, you're still putting a 12 out on the board.
That can
Yeah,
that you can't, you pretty much almost can't stop.
yeah, I'm not hating on Sandman. I really do think he's awesome. I just wish more people had the balls to play him before turn 5. I rarely ever see him come out on turn 4. I see some Electro Ramp decks do it, but here's the thing: if he does come out on 4, you adjust again, right? You pivot. You say, okay, all right, I see that you and I are both going to be playing this game this way. And then you know what really comes down to it is who has initiative to play Arrow on turn 6. Because
Well, who has initiative? But Arrow really just helps the person that's already winning the locations, right? If
that's
because
what I'm saying. Like
yeah,
if you have initiative and Sandman's on the board, you know that it's a 1-to-1 play, so you never have to worry. If you already have
yeah,
2 locations secured, go give them the third one. It's
yeah,
fine. Like it's
yeah.
totally fine. So it's a bummer. I would almost love to make a gentleman's bet with you that we do not see more Sandman during those hot locations. We
Those hot locations are only going to be a couple
24
days
hours.
anyway. So yeah,
They're 24 hours. Yeah.
yeah.
By the way, for anybody curious, hot locations run at a 60% chance increase to frequency.
Featured
And
locations
features
are
are 40.
40.
Yeah. But features currently run for 2 days. The developers are considering scaling that back because it is kind of annoying, like especially if it's a game-breaking location. You basically have players just stop playing for 2 days if they don't have an answer
the
2000.
cards for it. Yeah.
Yeah, if they don't have an answer to it. So, all right, that was a lot. That was a lot. Are you excited about next season? Are you more excited about next season than this season?
Excuse me. I think I'm about the same. What's been what's I guess I wouldn't say cooling my interest, but what's kind of slowed me down is my my season rank has been
Stuck.
stalled,
Yeah.
slowed down around 50s and 60s. And the thing is, I get all these new cards, but I'm actually kind of apprehensive about just playing decks just to level some of them up because I don't want to drop anymore. And so I just end up using the same deck. And if I'm using the same deck, I get kind of bored with it. And then at the same time, I don't want to build a new deck because most of these decks are proven to work. So it kind of then I have to I'm going back to Max Power or Shuri Zero, and it's a great deck. I'm not saying it's not, but it's just like, I'm playing this deck again. That's why I like my locations so much, because I kind of have to I get to interact with the other player.
I get you. You like to interact with each other. I
Yeah,
totally get it. I get that. I feel that as well sometimes. I do like the Shuri Zero because it does interact, but I run Cosmo. Like that's
yeah,
like and Polaris. So Captain Marvel basically does not interact with the other player. It's
yeah,
the opposite, right? It
right,
says, I don't care what you're doing. I'm going to just do this and hope
yeah,
for the best. And so I get a moderate amount of interaction with Shuri Zero that keeps me entertained. It's just the problem is the mirror match is just like, ugh, all right, well, who's going to miss their 2-drop? Because like if whoever missed the 2-drop, they lost. They already lost. That's basically the game. Or
or whoever missed Shuri, right? Because
yeah, I think the problem is like if people have the cards, they're just playing these very specific decks. So it's always either Shuri Zero, it's Thanos Lockjaw,
M.O.D.O.K.
it's yeah, the MODOK deck I get excited for because it's like, all right, let's see how your draws are,
Yeah,
because like the MODOK deck is really a hit or miss kind of situation. But then the only other one that like I see every now and then is Galactus,
yeah.
and my God, I don't think I ever stop being slightly excited when I see the Galactus setup. I get excited because it's a kind of a twofold thing. One is, am I going to get the cards to stop
The
this?
stuff, yeah.
And two
This do they
is,
have?
yeah, do they have what they need? Like, so I'm always kind of on the edge of my seat when I see Nova come out first, and then I see a Wolverine come out. Because if you see Nova come out and then you see a Lizard, it's not Galactus. It's not. That's the Sarah control deck.
Okay.
Have you seen that deck? You've seen the deck before, right?
Yeah, you showed it before.
Yeah, Sarah control with like it's got Bishop and it's got Killmonger and Mysterio and stuff like that. It's a solid deck. It's really good. It's a good mid-range deck. Um, but the second I see a card that's not a Telltale Galactus card, I stop holding my breath. I'm like, okay, cool. They still beat me sometimes for sure. But like I get I get super excited when I see what looks like the formation of a Galactus deck, especially when Daredevil comes out. Oh, I'm like, can I get what I need by turn 5? Because if I don't, that Daredevil's gonna ruin everything, hobgoblin my butt, and I'm just gonna take it on turn 6, right? Pretty much. Um, I don't know. What are your tactics for when you see the Galactus thing happening?
Um, for me, because I mean, unless they just have the ideal draw. Usually it's not Nova. Usually it's Wolverine that's kind of like hinting. But Wolverine's also part of the destroy deck. So I'm always like,
Mm-hmm.
Now if they draw Wave on 3, I'm like, is it Galactus? And then the same thing, I
Yeah.
look in my hand, what do I have, sort of things. But Wave could also be an opener for Death.
I've also seen her be an opener for Doctor Octopus
Oh,
because
interesting.
some Galactus decks are running Doc Ock to pull all of your crap that you would use against Galactus
Into
out
something else.
into a location so that you don't have it available, you know. And
Yeah.
then Galactus decks are running Shang-Chi as well. So if if Doc Ock pulls giant cards out, then it's possible they don't even need to run Galactus, right? They
Yeah.
can just Shang-Chi you on turn 6
Yeah.
and win that location. Yeah.
And because it really isn't until turn 3 when you can really have a better idea. It's hard because you need to put armor out, you know, and if you put armor out on 2 or 3 and then you realize, oh, it's Galactus and it's in the wrong spot, then it's like you said, it's really luck of the draw. Who's got the cards that they need, who's got initiative, and most likely they're going to have initiative. Oh no, they'll probably give up initiative so that they can Shang-Chi you.
Yeah.
But on turn 5, if they got Spider-Man, it's just kind of like, So I don't really have exactly strategy against it. It's just depending on what I have in my hand, and then sometimes I'm like, all right, I'll play the gamble. They didn't snap, I didn't snap, so we're just gonna lose 2. Somebody's gonna lose 2, so let's just play it through. Or they've been snapping, and I'm like, I'm not taking this gamble. I'll just retreat.
Yeah, if it's Electro on turn 3, I get worried too because like if I saw Wolverine come out before Electro, I know what it is. I know it's not an
Yeah.
Electro ramp in this typical way. Just curious, did you want to talk any more strategy or do you want to play?
Sure. My only thing is, well, let me use this deck. Let's do a quick game.
And by the way, if anybody is watching and is curious to play, please feel free to let us know. We're down to clown. Um, and obviously, you can cheat because you can see my
Oh,
deck.
I'm not.
Oh man, Sokovia discarded my black cat. That's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, and it took out
How?
mine. Did you see what it took out of mine?
I mean, yeah, it was Red Skull, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm looking down, so I'm not even looking up.
All right, fine. Then I'll just do this since you're not looking. Can you win it?
Oof.
Oh, crap. Crap in a hat. Oh man, look at my tiny little dudes. They're so small. Oh, dude. All right, fine, whatever.
We'll do it this way.
This gets weird. Oh crap.
Oh, nice.
My location. All right, so here we are presented with some possibilities. I think we will do them. This is kind of a weird one. We'll do it this way. See what happens.
Nice. Wow.
It's a pretty cool deck. Oh my goodness.
All right. Let's try that.
Let's see. This is a weird one. It's a weird one. It's weird. couldn't do nothing about it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't get a MODOK.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to snap on that game, man. I was too excited. That
I
Sokovia
mean, it
was
was
like
close.
clutch.
I mean, I was off by just 1 or 2
Yeah,
points.
yeah. It's just that if you forget about that Titania, it can really bite you in the butt later.
No, I didn't forget. I just wanted to try to. I figured I had enough. Oh, here we go again.
Ah, no! Shame on you, Sokovia. That is not the card you're supposed to do that with. All right, we're running backup plan now. Here's backup plan. Oh, goodness.
Oh, good gracious.
Goodness. Backup plan. Things getting weird over here. Beautiful. Isn't she beautiful? She is quite beautiful when you actually get to do it. My goodness. Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
Oh. Ah. Jerk. I still got one down there. You can't stop me. Mm. Mm. Oh my goodness. Dare I? Dare I? You jerk. Why was she 11? Oh, because you. I was like, why is she an 11? That's cool. Yeah, that Sokovia bit me in the butt. It's fair enough, right? The first turn was too good. Stop being Sokovia, guys.
I know, right?
Yeah. All right. All right. Look how beautiful she is. She just leaves. She just uh, exits, for me on my behalf. I guess I'll do this. I hope anybody watching is enjoyed by this thrilling play right now, where I just stole a Titania with a Morbius, and he's got that out. I would be scared of that Fist Tower if I thought you ran anything beyond Arrow, but I'm not. Oh shit! The Bifrost. Ah, man. I mean, how are we supposed to know that was going to happen? All right, fine. It's your Titania, so whatever. That's your card, bro. Aw, you don't want your Titania to die.
No,
That's kind of
she'll
cute.
still die.
She won't die. Oh, yeah, she will die. You're
She
right.
will die.
You're right. You're right. She will. Wow. What a bitch. Bye, guys. Goodbye. Well, I'm not snapping on that. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. It's not cool when you don't get the card that you name the deck after. It's really not cool. It makes me sad. But in fairness though, the play I'm doing is technically better than that play. Oh, thank God you didn't play Arrow there. I thought you were gonna play Arrow on Fist Tower. Well, let's see what we can do here. See what we can do. Oh, evil. Evil.
Yeah. Psyched you out.
That was a pretty good Maximus play.
Thank you.
Pretty good.
All right.
Pretty good. I think a Polaris would have been pretty great on that in that spot too, though.
Yeah, no. Well, but the thing is, you knew that on one of the turns that was going to it was going to happen, right? So
What happened?
I'm gonna stop.
Oh, you gotta stop. All right,
Yeah.
fair enough. If that's all we're gonna do, that's fine. If you had any tips you wanted to share before we get going,
My
do it
main
now.
tip is just when you play a deck, I think it helped me to identify what it is you're playing, so you know you have an idea of what sort of things is coming, and then you can get ready for it or know how to play around it,
Mm-hmm.
to counter it.
Right. So what are the decks that you still have trouble spotting?
Well, Galactus for one, because it can start off similar to a destroy deck. And then just sometimes I'll forget about, lately not so much, but a surfer deck. Like, just sometimes a deck that I haven't seen in a while, I'll just forget. I'll be like, oh, I'm winning. And I was like, oh, crap. I just realized they put a bunch of threes out. And, oh, I just realized surfer's coming next. Cerebro deck sometimes surprise me because, again, I'm just like, oh, I'm doing really well, and then Cerebro with Mystique. Oops, I forgot to take that into consideration. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
just
I think the Cerebro deck surprises me only because it doesn't happen often anymore.
right, yeah,
And so I'm not paying attention to the fact that everything is a 2 cost or a 2 power.
exactly. You're
Power,
you're
yeah.
just you're expecting. You're like, well, this is a weird deck to be playing. I've been playing a bunch of discard, and so you forget that not
Yeah.
everybody's playing discard, and then you just
Yeah. But it does help. Like, for example, like you knew I was playing a discard deck, so you were holding on to that Maximus for turn 6 because you knew that it would screw Dracula. And
Actually,
boy.
I didn't get Maximus until the end. I was like, what's the best way to play Arrow for that Fisk's Tower? But I knew you were going to try to play around it, so it wasn't until I got the Maximus towards the end. I was like, well, this is a Maximus, and I didn't draw a Lizard until turn 6. So I was like, well, 12 power. This might be good enough to push past it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I hate drawing cards on that turn. It's not fun.
Yeah.
You set up, you go to all the trouble of setting up Apocalypse just to have Apocalypse not get to come out. It's the worst. It's no fun.
Oh, I remember that's why I wanted Maximus, because I was running into a lot of discard decks, and that is a bit of a counter. So
that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I just get weirded out seeing Maximus in a deck that doesn't have Cosmo. Just because like there's so many times you don't want to give somebody those cards,
but on turn 6, right? If
you're only saving him for 6, then sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
I definitely still think you should figure out a way to fit Polaris into that deck. Like
I'll take a look at it.
Maybe it's take out Captain Marvel for Polaris, because Polaris with a Shuri boost or Maximus with a Shuri boost is still huge, plus the other card. You know what I mean?
You know who might actually might not.
It's 19 on the board, Maximus and Polaris. If one of them's
no, but what I'm saying is, I actually rarely use She-Hulk now.
Really?
Yeah.
I use her a lot. I especially like if I hit 2, but like my 3 looks iffy, I'll pass on 3, and then I'll put out a She-Hulk on turn 4.
But Shuri's your 4.
But if you don't hit Shuri,
Yeah,
like
that's
if you're
true.
missing Shuri, if
Yeah.
you can tell you're not gonna get Shuri, like by turn 3, you
Yeah.
don't have a Shuri in hand, you pass, you put out She-Hulk and a 1-drop on turn 4.
Yeah, that's true.
So and like if that 1 drops Titania, or even 0, because you could put She-Hulk 0 if you have Red Skull in hand,
Yeah, yeah.
so that on turn 5 you don't have to worry about Red
You don't
Skull
have to worry
giving
about
your opponent stuff.
his. Yeah,
His
that's true.
pesky negative. Yeah. I would not get rid of She-Hulk. I'm just
I
telling
know.
you, like
Yeah.
she is like in every deck right now.
I know.
She's too useful. Her and Titania are just in everything. Like
Yeah.
and if a deck's not using them, good luck. Good luck. That's what I say. So,
All right.
all right, cool. Well, then, if you got to get out of here, then I'm happy to get out of here as well. It's lunchtime. I appreciate getting to chat Marvel Snap with you for an hour. But yeah, I think we're gonna take off now. And thanks to everybody who tuned in, whether it be live or later. And if you enjoyed what we did here, feel free to like and subscribe. And good luck on the last few days of Enter the Quantum Realm.
Fun snapping.
Yeah, keep on snapping, guys. All right, we're out. Later.